today's announcements were largely focused on ensuring reformation of several sectors long pending, like coal, mining of minerals, airspace, and even the space, outer space and atomic energy sectors. I'm going to introduce some of the new guests now joining us as we continue to bring in more expert opinion. Dr. Ajay Kumar Dua, former Commerce Secretary, is with us. Anurag Batra, founder, exchangeformedia.com, also with us. Dr. Dua, I want to come to you first. What do you make of the announcements today? Is the government back to doing what is the biggest expectation from a Narendra Modi government? That is bringing about long pending Big Bang reforms.
I think the first three announcements, or the first 3 days of announcements by the finance minister were more in terms of giving the financial boost to the economy by way of actual infusion of liquidity, be it directly or through the government-supported institution or bank. Today was giving long-term stimulus to the economy by addressing certain issues which have long been haunting the Indian economy, what we've been wanting to address, but the vested interest didn't allow us. And I would refer to the 3 long-term ones first. One, opening up of the coal sector. What has been done today is virtually a historical decision, something which happened in 1970 has been undone. That point of time, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, the then Prime Minister, she had nationalized the private coal mines. She had nationalized the marketing and the distribution of coal. Since then, we have seen the coal sector continue to remain short of the requirement of the country. And I'm referring to the thermal coal, of which we have become probably the second largest importer in the world, if not the first. Even the Chinese probably had stopped importing so much of thermal coal ever since they became green conscious. We had become the number one. So we are now poised with this reform, and I'm hoping that the government doesn't wait for this coal reform to by way of parliamentary debate and then a legislation, statute passing, but brings about an ordinance, because I fear a lot of unions ganging up and vested interests in coal mining, coal transportation coming to the fore. That's number one. Number two, here we've been talking of opening up our defense sector, reducing our import bill of defense equipment, and as we know, we have probably become the 3rd or the 4th largest importer of defense equipment if we go by the studies of 1919, 1920 documented. Now, with what was the reason? We opened up the FDI in certain technology sectors to foreign investors. But we said, you can't hold more than 49%. The control, ownership and control will remain with the Indian partner. In the case of defense, the major input is technology. Patented technology, people would have spent billions in developing it. They didn't want it to be given to a company invested in India when they didn't have the control or the ownership of that entity. So what happened? Our import bill continued to swell on defense, even though we might be a very large army, etc., in terms of soldiers, but even without the state-of-the-art equipment in most fields, yet our import bill was high. So with today's announcement, I again hope that here this probably also needs to be pushed through, not because of vested interest so much, which will be opposing it, but because we need to save the money, we need to save foreign exchange, and otherwise defense import production as well as the spare parts, both which are now sought to be made here. Third, along with that, whole lot of ordnance factories set up since 1960. They were all right at one point of time because they were producing small arms and small equipment, ammunition. But sitting on huge chunks of land within cantonments, within cities, or just outside, all over the country.